All right, hello, this is Wmpyr. I finally saw the Last Kumite. All right, so one thing about this is I have to say that I feel like the I belong in the target audience for this film, and the reason why I say that is because I started martial arts in the 90s, actually in 1990 to be exact. That's when I started. I was in junior high school at the time. And so, yeah, I was watching all of these kinds of movies. I was renting from the video store Bloodsport, Kickboxer, Hard to Kill, all the Don the Dragon Wilson movies, Billy Blanks movies, um, Olivier Grunner movies. And I would watch them while I worked out. I was doing the splits, push ups, sit ups, Escrima practice, all that kind of stuff. And I was going to martial arts class on top of that. But when I came home at night, that's when I would pop in one of these videos and it would help me, give me some motivation, inspiration to train. And back in the day, it was pretty much these movies, books and magazines, and that's it. There really was no internet at the time, so there was, but it wasn't like what it is today. And so yeah, those were really the venues, to get your martial arts kicks outside from the dojo. Um, so yeah, it's nice to see all these legendary actors come back again. Um, I really, really wish that the way they had done it was each one of these legends play a coach for a fighter. Okay, so Billy Blanks is a coach for one fighter. Matthias Hughes is a coach for another fighter. Cynthia Rothrock is a coach for another fighter. Muhammad Kisi is a coach for another fighter, and his brother is a coach for another fighter. I wish they had done it that way, and we kind of follow these fighters amongst other fighters, and you're watching the tournament progress, kind of like the way they did in Bloodsport, where you're following a certain group. There were a lot of fighters in that movie, but your eyes kind of went specifically to a certain number of people, and that was because of the way it was shot. So I remember the guy that did the monkey style um, fighting where he broke the coconut. The sumo wrestler from Korea, I think he Korean, and then of course we had the uh, Bolo played Chong Li, right, and then Muhammad Kisi's character. Uh, Van Damme, of course, Paco. So what I'm saying is that there's just certain amount of characters that you focused on in that movie, and they could have done that here. And I would have loved to have seen like basically Muhammad Kisi reprise his role of Tong Po. Now I understand copyright problems, so he did something like that in a movie I believe it was titled Eliminators, where he played a character called Kong Lee. So you right away knew it was Tong Po, but the name is different. Once again for like copyright reasons. So and he was a coach. A scary coach, but he was a coach. That I would love to have seen him like a Tong Po type of character train a badass Muay Thai fighter. That would have been great. And he's making the guy kick a pillar with his shins just like he did in Kickboxer. Oh man, that would have given me goosebumps to see that. And his brother, who played Attila in Lionheart, pretty much the same character. um, Change the name, just call him Salvador, well, whatever. But that guy, have him train a guy who's like really good with his hands and is like a bare knuckle street fighter boxer type of guy. Billy Blanks, for me, the role that stands out for him was Khan in King of the Kickboxers. He was so awesome in that. I think that was the character that pretty much inspired DJ in Street Fighter to the new challengers. Yeah. So would have loved to seen Billy Blanks train a guy. Yeah, like that character Khan. And Matthias Hughes, for me, he stood out in No Retreat, No Surrender 2, where he was the Colonel. That was an awesome Lauren Avedon movie. But and Cynthia Rothrock, I think, would have been great as the protagonist's coach. In this movie, The Last Kumite, it's her and Billy Blanks coaching the guy, but I think it would have been great if it was just her coaching him, and she would obviously be coaching him in I would think, a completely different manner from the other guys, less hardcore, maybe more, I don't know, just like in a different direction, and I would have loved to have seen that, and maybe that's what gets him to win, but yeah, the part that really did it for me in a good way, this movie, was when, okay, so I have to admit, right, when I started watching it, immediately I was like, oh no, like there were things that I didn't like. There were other things that I felt like, okay, they're trying to do this, like the music, they're trying to make it retro, they're trying to make the music a little bit similar to like Bloodsport, and give that kind of vibe. So I like that they were trying to do that. And then like when they shot the cityscape, it looked kind of retro. So I was like, okay, those are all good things they're trying to do. But then there were other things that really I was like, why, or what the heck is going on? So I was kind of in a way battling myself. I want to like the movie, but I'm torn, and I'm like, oh gosh, I can't. There's some parts where I almost couldn't stand. Right? Why did they shoot it this way, or why did they make this kind of decision? And then the part that really helped me was when the main character's daughter gets kidnapped. Not the way they do it, because the way that was shot, I didn't like it at all. But once she gets taken and he is like, okay, I got to do this, right? It immediately took me back to Commando, which is the 80s. And that's what I want from this movie, is I want nostalgia. I want to feel those things again. So immediately my brain said, okay, I understand this. This is Commando. I get it. He has to get his daughter back, and he's a badass. So that's what I want to see. And so that part of the story I really liked. Now I didn't really care for, some of the other fighters were there because they also had loved ones taken, and they had to do. I was like, no, you don't. Yeah, we don't need that, But the other part I got to mention was, maybe what was similar for this guy's character in a way was Blood Fist 2. Don the Dragon Wilson's character was an ex-champion. Ex-martial arts champion. He actually was a kickboxing champion, and he accidentally killed a guy in the ring. So after that, his life is kind of ruined. In the next shot, he's in a rundown like apartment, sleeping with a prostitute. So you understand that his life is crap right now, but he's a badass, and if he gets his act together, that badass is still there. Like you instantly get that, and throughout the whole movie, Don the Dragon Wilson's character is a badass. Yes, he gets tricked and stuff. He gets captured, but the guy is a badass without a doubt. Just like Jean-Claude Van Damme's character in Bloodsport was a badass throughout the movie. Yes, Chong Li, Bolo's character, antagonized him so good and kind of got in his head and stuff. But other than that, 90% of the time he was in charge. He was dodging the agents, he was dominating his fights. I mean, yeah, he was totally in charge. And same with Commando, where Matrix, he was, you could right away, oh, he's smart. He's not going to listen to what they told him to do. No, he's trying to go rescue his daughter. Like right away, he was in charge pretty much the whole movie, and that's what I wanted to see in this, you know. But anyway, I'm glad that I finally got to see it. So will they make more films? I hope so. I hope so. If anyone wants to make films giving a nod back to the 80s and 90s, to me that's always cool because yeah, I like that era. So anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.